Well, I wasn't expecting to make this video today because I was actually waiting a little bit. All these politics things about immigration to go over because I want to avoid to attract wrong people watching my video. But yeah, so this year I completed 10 years living abroad. I moved to a little country called Ireland, and I'm originally from Brazil. And I just looking back here and see how my life was back then, like how things had changed. And it's very interesting to see how things really are right now. I'll just fix my camera here. So really, really fun to see, like back in 2014, 2015, I worked in a pretty, a corporate job. And my job was developer and software tester at the time. And you can see here that I used Windows, I think there was Windows Vista. I don't remember now what it was. And corporate job back then in Brazil was very, Windows focused because a lot of people would use Windows in Brazil because it was cheaper to buy computers with Windows there. And most of the Windows they were like pirated. But well, what can I do? It's just the way that life it is back then. And I just like, straight out of college, went to a corporate job, got like, enough salary for monthly myself, pay my rent and all that stuff. But something was missing, right? I didn't feel like I have enough opportunities back there in Brazil. I tried to be more getting a major software role, but I was always relegated to small roles and doing software testing, automation, and all this stuff. And at the same time, I was looking for other corporate jobs as well. And there was always a barrier. And the main barrier actually was the English. So there was a lot of companies coming to Brazil and they wanted people to know how to speak English, or at least know to speak a little bit. And yeah, I think I missed a lot of opportunities there. And it's funny though to see like how my office were, like pretty much looked like this Japanese office, but yeah. That's pretty funny. And then in March 2015, I decided, okay, so I'm going to try to actually learn English. And I decided to sign up for an English course in Ireland because it was the cheapest one of them all. So I looked for US, I looked for UK, Canada, even like South Africa. The Ireland was the cheapest one to actually get it. So, yeah, so I think just a second. I need to answer someone here. Yeah, and yeah, I think that's what drove me to move away. So my idea was actually to come to Ireland, learn some English, and then come back to Brazil, and then try to get these better jobs, at other companies. And pretty much my life got into a culture shock here. I didn't realize how Ireland was like booming as well in tech jobs. So when I came here, I applied for a loads of companies, and I got like answers straight away. People calling me and then asking me like a bunch of questions, and I kind trying to understand because when I came to Ireland, my English was very limited. I knew something about movies because I watched a lot of American movies, but always with subtitles. So there was some sort of learning there, but at the same time, you don't learn in a place that no one speaks English. So it was very difficult for me to understand even more the Irish accent. But you do your ways of to try to understand, try to communicate. I kind of get some interviews, but then it wasn't enough, and I wanted to stay in Ireland for a little longer. So I got a job, and the job was actually kitchen porter. Kitchen porter, for those who doesn't know, is just like washing dishes in a Chinese restaurant. I don't have pictures for this. It was funny. So I spent 8 months there. It was really intense for me because when you walk around the streets, Ireland's a really beautiful place. Dublin is nice, even though it's a dirt city. It's a nice place. I like it a lot. It took a while for me to actually get a job there. So like I stayed there for, I'd say like 8 months until I get a job. So let's just break it down here so you guys can understand, how how was it? So first let's start like first I was tired of the same job in Brazil. Corporate jobs with higher pay. It requires you to know English. So I decided to go abroad to learn English. So that's the first path. So when I got to Ireland, I discovered that there were a lot of jobs there. So I discovered there were a lot of jobs here. Sorry. Here, started applying. And then to make the payments, pay the rent, pay all the stuff, because Dublin back then was already a very expensive city to live. I started working as a kitchen porter. And as you know, like, so from in Brazil, I actually had a college degree. So, and it's a very important thing that people has to know when they join the tech, and they're like, oh, you don't need to have a degree to to get into the tech world. And I think today it is pretty narrow. I believe like people who doesn't have a college degree, just did a boot camp or anything else, it's going to be very difficult for them to actually get a job nowadays, because the amount of new hires is decreased a lot, and increase a lot of hires for people who are more experienced. So that's something you all have to be aware if you're starting into tech, and that college degree is very important nowadays, because is actually a elimination parameter when people choosing someone who's new in tech to get a job. And there's another thing as well. College degree is actually a barrier for you to migrate. That's saying, as an immigrant, had a college degree helped me a lot, because when I discovered Ireland has a lot of jobs, and I could stay here and I could get a better pay than I have in Brazil, because first the euro is stronger than the Brazilian real, and getting in touch with international community, and Ireland is very connected to US. So for me, it was kind of like, I can start a job here, and then maybe I can move to US, because then I have the English, I have the knowledge, I have the same sort of corporate workflow that other companies in US gonna have. Then I could easily move to US after, if I can find a job there. But then to be able to stay here in Ireland, you have to have a college degree to get your resident visa. It says so because to apply for a job here, so for a tech job in Ireland or even in Europe, most of the rules is the same. Most of the rules apply. There is some tweaks here and there, but most of the countries in Europe, when you apply for a job, right? The government wants to know your past, like if you have a degree, if you are qualifying for that job, because these jobs, like tech jobs, they are equate to a high skill jobs nowadays. And then a high skill job, government wants you to come over. But if you have acquired these high skills, and then one of the ways you acquire these high skills is through college. So a bootcamp is not going to help you when you apply for a job in Ireland to get a visa. They're not going to allow you to, they're going to deny you the visa because they're working visa, they're working less resident, because Irish people can just do a bootcamp and get a job as well. If it's not their high skill, they don't want you here. No other countries want you, like the US, European countries. They're not gonna grant you the visa because you're not bringing a high skill job, and a high skill job means you're gonna pay a higher income taxes, and this is good for the country because the country can finance other things for their own people or the people that's living here already. So that's why you have to get a visa. So I stay 8 months here, applying for jobs. I applied for more than 100 jobs. I got more than 50 interviews, and then I actually got an opportunity. So this is me learning English. So through this time applying for jobs, I was trying to learn English and getting better there. So because I paid for this school, so it was good to have, you know. And then one day I did interview in a town called Bray. That's a city that's like just close to Dublin. And I did interview, and I went out of the office. The train station is actually behind this beach there, so I just walk a little bit down the road and get to the train station. But I decided to have a walk there. I wanted to relax a little bit because on my kitchen porter job, I was working 12 hours a day, and I was getting there like midday, getting out at 10 p.m. It's like from Monday to Saturday. So I was only getting Sunday off. And this day I got a day off from the kitchen porter work, and I was walking this beach because I wanted just to relax a little bit. And then I got a message on my phone, and the company I just got interviewed, they said, "Oh, we decided to go with another person." And this was the last interview. I got really crushed, and I sit on this beach. Okay, it's not a great beach, but I sit on there, and I was like, God, I just need one opportunity. I just need just one opportunity, because it was very difficult to be in a work that you don't want to be, but it's just there because you're paying your salary, and you know you have the potential to want more, to have more. And then when I was going back home in the train, I received a call from a person at IBM, and IBM I had applied 3 times for them, and then this was the 3rd time I had applied, and one of the person the HR called me and said, "Lucas, I saw your CV. I saw the position they applied, but I think you fit more for this other job position, which has less requirements, but you fit more for this one." And they are in a final interview because you did a lot of interviews for IBM. We know you did a lot of interviews. We know a lot of things about you already. So we're going to put you in the last interview. So I went there, got my last interview, and then 3 days later they got me a job offer. It was like it was really interesting because I was really, really hopeless at the moment, and then I got that. I don't know if it was a sign or something, but it was great because then I could get my visa and get my job. So living in London, it was great. So yeah, then after that I could enjoy things. I could enjoy St. Patrick's Parade, and I went to like some meetups there. So this is a meetup on Workday. So this is a laptop of IBM. I was still using Windows, but I could actually switch to Linux. That was good. IBM allowed me to switch to Linux. Yeah, it's like I got more stuff. I got a little table for me to work from home when I needed. So this was my office on IBM, which was great. I have these things until today. It was really cool to have it. People just got me those. I didn't bought any of these. I just got some gifts. This is a trip I made to Belgium. So I think that life was really good. And then after that, I decided, look, there's way more to it. I grabbed my old computer. This is my old computer. I still have this computer today. It still works. And I decided to, with this computer, I'm going to try to do some stuff. So I was using this computer as a server. So today I use this Raspberry Pi. It's offline now, but I have just to turn on because I have good stuff to do with it. But yeah, I start working on some stuff. So I create some startups. I start, after I got my visa, I saw that I could do more stuff. So I could, create more things and try to create like more different, projects, side projects that end up become some startups, and most of them fail at the moment. So I have like, 5 tries. I try already 5 times and it fails, but it's fine, The 6th one actually worked, so I sold that one. I sold my 6th startup, and I'm starting other projects now. And this was great for me because this gave me peace of mind to actually start working in other things. And this is the process, like I got investments, and I could hire Irish people. So I hired 2 Irish people already, and they got the money. So I think that I could help on the economy somehow. So like in a very fraction of the economy, but it was great, And I think then finally, after a long time using Linux and Windows, I switched to Mac, and I'm having Mac until today. pretty cool. I think that I like the system. I think that's it's a very robust system for development and productivity. I really liked it, and it's been great to see how things turns out. So and then today I can do some hobbies too. So that's to summarize. 10 years living abroad, 10 years as a software developer, working for international companies in a country that I didn't know anything about it. And nowadays I love it. And I am now an Irish citizen as well. So like 5 years ago, I got my citizenship. And that's pretty much it. I think that's was just like a video I wanted to make for a long while. And I hope you guys like it. So if you like it, leave a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.